Billionaire dreams shattered on a deserted island. The Fyre Festival was billed as an exclusive music and arts event in the Bahamas in April 2017. Organizers spent millions promoting glamour with supermodels, private jets, and promises of top-tier artists and oceanfront villas. Early bird tickets started at $1,200, escalating to over $100,000 for VIP packages. Marketing alone cost over $20 million, using dozens of social media influencers, reaching hundreds of millions. Many investors poured in millions, seeking quick profit. The concept included 2 weekends designed to attract thousands of wealthy millennials and celebrities to Great Exuma. They envisioned luxury with yacht parties, 5-star dining, and musical performances by 20 or more famous bands. Videos showed pristine beaches, clear waters, setting unrealistic expectations for an audience eager for adventure. Nearly 8,000 bought tickets believing every word, despite red flags like vague lineups and last-minute changes. The festival promised a seamless experience, managing every detail for paying guests, anticipating perfection. Upon arrival, the illusion collapsed violently into a nightmare for thousands of attendees. Instead of luxury villas, guests found emergency tents soaked from rain, lacking sanitation. The promised gourmet food was a single cheese sandwich, often with no cutlery, distributed by local staff. Only dozens of portable toilets served thousands, creating unsanitary conditions. Baggage handling was non-existent, leaving hundreds of suitcases dumped or stolen. Security was sparse, disorganized, creating a chaotic environment where safety was a major concern. Basic necessities like drinking water were scarce, leading to frustration and panic. Many found themselves stranded with no reliable transportation off-site, a real fear. Flights were canceled or overbooked, trapping hundreds in deteriorating conditions. Medical facilities were absent, with only handfuls of first aid stations overwhelmed by heat exhaustion, dehydration. The promising 20 bands never materialized. Only minor acts performed before the event was shut down less than 24 hours. Infrastructure for 10,000 was barely enough for 100, creating an immediate crisis of monumental proportions. The aftermath quickly spiraled into a legal and financial disaster. Lawsuits seeking hundreds of millions were filed, including one class action for over $100 million. Investors lost tens of millions, some reporting losses exceeding $5 million. Billy McFarland, the primary organizer, faced charges including wire fraud and was sentenced to 6 years in federal prison, a stark reminder of his deception. Hundreds of local workers in the Bahamas contributed thousands of hours and were left unpaid. Many attendees received small settlements, often less than $2,000, as partial compensation for wasted money and traumatic experience. Total failure costs, including investor losses and legal fees, exceeded $100 million, a colossal sum for a festival that never happened. The event served as a cautionary tale about unchecked marketing hype and due diligence for consumers and investors. It also highlighted ethical responsibilities of influencers promoting unvetted events. The Fyre Festival remains an unforgettable example of ambition without execution, leading to widespread chaos and significant financial ruin for hundreds of people and businesses. A single cheese sandwich and a wet tent awaited thousands expecting paradise. The Fyre Festival became a real disaster, unfolding for hundreds of excited attendees. Instead of luxury villas, guests found emergency tents soaked from rain lacking basic sanitation. The promised gourmet food was a single cheese sandwich, often with no cutlery, distributed by local staff. Only dozens of portable toilets served thousands, creating unsanitary conditions. Baggage handling was non-existent, leaving hundreds of suitcases dumped or even stolen. Security proved sparse and disorganized, creating a chaotic environment where safety was a major concern. Basic necessities like drinking water were remarkably scarce, leading to widespread frustration and eventual panic. Many found themselves stranded with no reliable transportation off-site, sparking a real fear for their well-being. Flights were canceled or severely overbooked, trapping hundreds in rapidly deteriorating conditions. Medical facilities were absent, with only handfuls of first aid stations completely overwhelmed by heat exhaustion, dehydration, and minor injuries. The promised 20 bands never materialized. Only minor acts performed before the entire event was shut down less than 24 hours after its disastrous opening. Infrastructure designed for 10,000 people was barely enough to accommodate 100, creating an immediate crisis of monumental proportions. The aftermath quickly spiraled into a legal and financial disaster, with severe repercussions for all involved parties. Lawsuits seeking hundreds of millions of dollars were swiftly filed, including one prominent class action for over $100 million. Investors lost tens of millions of dollars, some individuals reporting losses exceeding $5 million personally. Billy McFarland, the primary organizer, faced multiple federal charges including wire fraud and was ultimately sentenced to 6 years in federal prison, a stark reminder of his extensive deception. Hundreds of local workers in the Bahamas who had contributed thousands of hours of labor were tragically left completely unpaid for their dedicated efforts. Many attendees received small settlements, often less than $2,000, as partial compensation for their wasted money and traumatic experience endured. Total failure costs, including investor losses and extensive legal fees, exceeded $100 million, a truly colossal sum for a music festival that astonishingly never even happened. The entire event served as a stark cautionary tale about unchecked marketing hype and the critical need for due diligence for both consumers and investors. It also highlighted the ethical responsibilities of social media influencers promoting unvetted events without proper investigation. The Fyre Festival remains an unforgettable example of extreme ambition without any realistic execution, leading to widespread chaos and significant financial ruin for hundreds of people and numerous businesses involved. Millions of dollars vanished into thin air for a fantasy that never was. The Fyre Festival promised an exclusive Bahamian escape, but delivered a humanitarian crisis instead for thousands of hopeful attendees. The original marketing push for this supposedly ultra-luxury event involved dozens of celebrity influencers reaching millions of social media users with promises of private jets, gourmet food, and lavish villas on a secluded island in the Bahamas. Many paid thousands of dollars, sometimes over $10,000, for VIP packages, expecting an unparalleled experience over 2 weekends in April and May. The dream, however, began to unravel on arrival at Exuma International Airport, where hundreds of guests faced chaotic scenes and extended delays. Instead of luxury transportation, a few old school buses ferried hundreds of passengers to the Great Exuma site, where the stark reality became immediately apparent. The promised 10,000-person infrastructure was nowhere in sight, with actual capacity for perhaps 100 people. Thousands of festival goers discovered emergency relief tents soaked from recent rain often without proper bedding or air conditioning. Baggage claim was a literal pile of hundreds of suitcases dumped unceremoniously in a dark field, making it impossible for many to locate their belongings. Drinking water was scarce, leading to immediate health concerns and widespread frustration among the thousands present. Just dozens of portable toilets served thousands of people, creating unsanitary conditions almost immediately. The gourmet meals were replaced by a single cheese sandwich, often distributed without cutlery, leaving hundreds hungry and deeply disappointed. Security was sparse and unorganized, offering little comfort or safety to the thousands arriving. Medical facilities were absent beyond a handful of makeshift first aid stations, overwhelmed by heat, dehydration, and minor injuries. The anticipated 20 world-class bands never materialized, with only a few unknown acts playing before the entire event was shut down within 24 hours of its disastrous opening. Billy McFarland, the primary organizer, faced immediate backlash and legal repercussions for this massive deception. The dream of a luxury escape quickly transformed into a real-life nightmare for thousands of attendees. Attendees were left stranded with no reliable transportation off the island, creating genuine fear among hundreds. Many flights were canceled or severely overbooked, trapping thousands in rapidly deteriorating circumstances. The financial fallout was immense, with investors losing tens of millions of dollars, some individual investments exceeding $5 million. A class action lawsuit sought over $100 million in damages. Hundreds of local Bahamian workers who had contributed thousands of hours of labor were tragically left completely unpaid. Total failure costs for this festival that never truly happened exceeded $100 million, encompassing legal fees and investor losses. This event remains a stark lesson in marketing hype and the critical need for consumer and investor diligence.